Everyone, welcome to my channel GSP Studies. Get ready for the dictation. 5 seconds. Start. Sir, I would make a few suggestions towards implementation of the plan and how our implementation can be improved. First is that utilization of installed capacity should be given priority over creation of new capacity. Top priority must be given for utilizing the installed capacity. Top priority must be given for utilizing the installed capacity, and you must not be anxious only to create new capacity. Second is the ongoing projects must be first completed on a priority basis, and adequate resources should be provided for that. It is no use having too many projects and spreading our resources too thinly so that none of them is completed and we do not get any production. The third is top priority should be given to power generation because many of our industrial projects and undertakings today linger on base because of power shortage. Para. My next suggestion is that projects which take long periods for maturity must be given a second priority. The finance minister has diagnosed the malady very correctly. But having done that, what has he done to implement it? Has anything been done to check the cost push inflation to reduce the cost of production? I submit nothing has been done in this direction. On the other hand, we find that there has been an increase in the cost of fuel oil, electricity, coal, steel, and all other raw materials. There has been an increase in the cost of transport, both rail and road. The credit, which has become one of the important inputs, is becoming more and more costly. This shows that even though we recognize the malady, we have done nothing and we are doing nothing to remedy it. In fact, we are aggravating it. The finance minister says that his basic approach is that additional revenue should flow largely from increased production. Sir, I thought that having enunciated this principle, he would do something to increase the production, but I find that precious little is being done. I would make a suggestion. If the finance minister had announced an excise concession only on additional production as compared to a base year, that would have yielded more production and more revenue, and in no way would it have affected the government's revenue. Last week, the government has announced excise concessions for the tire industry, and they say that these concessions would apply from 1976. Whom would they help? Would they help in increasing production now? I do not understand it. There may be other reasons for that, but at least for increasing production, there is no need to give concessions retrospectively. Para. Now, sir, I want to give my particular congratulations to the finance minister for a very necessary amendment he has agreed to, and that relates to the amendment of the Estate Duty Act. This is a very good and much needed reform because in many big towns and even small places, the price of land, flats, and buildings has gone up considerably. Para. Mr. Chairman, thank you for giving me the opportunity to participate in the debate on the appropriation bill. Sir, while we are debating on this important matter, there are only 15 members in the House. What I feel is that in such important matters and when such important bills are passed, more participation by the members should be ensured. At the same time, more time should be allowed in such matters. Sir, it is really a sad thing that today we have seen an announcement that the bearer bonds scheme is going to be suspended with effect from tomorrow evening, that is from 30th April evening. The implication is that after the Supreme Court case is over, there may be a chance that it will be revived again. But there is nothing wrong in accepting failures for such schemes. Today, I was going through the Estimates Committee's report. Para. They have found fault even with the two previous voluntary disclosure schemes, and they have even suggested to the government that the persons who have once declared themselves under the two earlier voluntary disclosure schemes should not again be given the opportunity to declare and participate in this scheme. Perhaps the same thing is what they would say about this bearer bonds scheme later on when they review this scheme in the course of their activities. There is nothing wrong if the scheme does not succeed, but the ministry should try to learn a lesson from this. They should go behind this and see why this scheme has not been successful. What is the catch? The catch here in this particular scheme is that if anybody is found evading taxes later and is found suppressing his income, then that cannot be linked up and he cannot claim immunity if he says that he has purchased bearer bonds with that money. So the point is, if you really want to flush out the parallel economy and bring it into the mainstream, you should give such incentives in such a way that once and for all the country can get rid of the parallel economy. The Honorable Finance Minister, while intervening in the debate in the other house, has talked about rates. I have seen the report, and in this connection, it is my duty to point out something, and I hope the minister will take note of my suggestion. The persons who are raided come to political brokers who seem to be plenty in this country. They negotiate with power, and ultimately everything turns out to be just some sort of midsummer night's dream. That is all. The persons who are raided, of course, get the publicity in the papers, may be good or bad publicity, but in the end, these people go to the settlement commission, which will take 10 to 20 years to settle their cases. The result is that all the raids prove to a farce. That is what I wanted to say about tax rates conducted by the government staff। এই প্যাসেজের স্ট্রোক এবং পিডিএফ পেতে টেলিগ্রাম গ্রুপে জয়েন করুন এবং ভিডিওটি ভালো লেগে থাকলে লাইক, শেয়ার এবং সাবস্ক্রাইব করে পাশে থাকা বেল আইকনটি প্রেস করে রাখুন সবার আগে নোটিফিকেশান পেতে। থ্যাংকস ফর ওয়াচিং।